I've seen a lot of wacky-doodle irrigation installations and repairs in my 30-something years of irrigation, but these two were, unique. Take a ride with me in part 2 and see how I tackled this project from start to finish. Here in part 2, I'll show you how I rebuilt the west manifold and how I came back a few weeks later and replaced the two timers that were under the house inconveniently on the opposite sides of the house from each other. Each time the programming had to be tweaked or turned off due to rain, etc., it was a hassle. Now they're on one Wi Fi timer and the owner loves the results. Hang around after this for the bonus feature you may want to consider for your system. Before I begin, I want to remind you that this is on a well system, and if you're on a dirty water system using well water, pond water, creek water, lake water, be sure to watch my video on the subject to know how to save yourself a lot of time and hassles with your irrigation system. This is the east manifold. The valves in both manifolds are Toro 250 inline valves, and they belong down in the ground in valve boxes like this. This is the west manifold. The three leftmost valves aren't even being used, but one has continually leaked. The water comes from the booster pump down below and converts to copper under here somewhere before converting back to PVC for this manifold. The copper continues into the basement and onto the house water and beyond to the east valve manifold. On my first visit, I installed a PVC ball valve on this manifold to stop the 24/7 leaking. When I returned in August, I worked on the east manifold. Mr. C cut away all the wood structure before I arrived and dug it all out. A couple weeks later, I returned to rebuild this manifold, so here we go. Not only did the installer build this awkward wooden structure, but he also wired it to the rafters. It's a best practice to label the wires with numbered wire markers before cutting the wires at the connectors, then set the wire set aside out of the way. As usual, I used a Sharpie to number the pipes down below to correspond with their station numbers on the timer. Then I cut the assembly off and bada boom! The manifold has been removed. Rathbone is watching over the old manifold to make sure it doesn't run off. Now it was time to begin the build. I always do as much building on my tailgate as I can stand upright while I work. As usual, I used Hunter anti-siphon valves for the reasons that I mentioned in my best of video linked above and below. This time I used 1-inch valves since the system was already set up that way. On the tailgate, I placed this, I call a glue board, to catch the dribbles of glue while I put the manifold together. When not being used, it is stored under this set of bins. I have now installed the male adapters, Y filters, and the inlet pipes onto the valves since I had already decided on the height I wanted for the new manifold. The outlet pipes must be cut one at a time to custom fit. As you can see, on this west manifold, I did not number the T's like I did on the east manifold because this time the client provided me with this list of what each valve is for, left to right, so I marked the two drip valves with a D so I would know to install a Hunter HFR assembly on those two valves so there'd be a pressure regulator on them. We decided to put just Y filters on the other lines. I built these assemblies in a group of 3 due to the weight strains on the pipe. Have things handy to prop up the assembly to keep it level. I used my 2-foot Empire level here, but I also have a torpedo level for checking the vertical level when needed. And here we have it, buried and ready to run. There's a Romex connector to keep the critters out. I intended for the ball valve to get installed horizontally so the horizontal inlet piping would be below grade, but that's not how it went. At least this assembly is under the deck and out of the sun. Since the manifold is under the deck, I'm not sure Mr. C will build a box to cover this manifold, but it's an option for you if you need sun protection or other protection from the elements or from dogs chewing on the wires, or for aesthetics to cover the valves. This handsome looking DIY project is called Josh's Boxes. It can be Thompson sealed or painted to match the house or trim. Watch the short video linked above and below to learn more. Well, that's it for the replacement of the West manifold. Now I'll show you the process I went through to consolidate the two timers into one. First, I documented the East and West valves and decided which colors would represent which valves. Then I removed the timers and wiring and prepped the access through the walls. Mr. C and I worked together under the house to pull the 1810 wiring through from the west side to the east side where the new timer would reside. Fortunately, someone had installed a drain pipe under there to feed wiring through, which made it much easier. Considering all the options, I recommended Hunter's Pro HC 24 station model. This would allow for both the east and west manifolds, plus the 7 or more other valves around the property, and a few possible future valves. I always encourage installing a timer that has more stations than you currently need so you can add on in the future. This timer is intended for Wi-Fi use. It can be operated at the timer, but the real magic is programming it and operating it using the versatile HydroWise app on your smartphone or computer. If you don't want Wi-Fi access, then there are other timers I'd recommend, like the Hunter ICC2. This one actually can handle more stations and is Wi-Fi capable, but requires an expensive commercial-grade operating system to interface with. One downside of the HC models is they aren't yet compatible with the Roam remotes, so remote operations must be done using your smartphone. Once the timer was mounted on the wall, I fed the wiring into the timer. It's a good idea to label the wire sets as A, B, C, and D to correspond with the documentation. Next, I wired up the timer according to the documentation. Ta-da! Now it's time to do a quick setup using the interface and test each of the valve connections. This clear plastic sheet can be removed now. I let the clients finish the programming after I leave so they can become familiar with it themselves, and they're not paying me to do it. That's it! All that wiring can seem daunting, but as long as you document efficiently before you begin, then you just take one wire set at a time to wire the timer. Okay, now that the timer's wired up, tested, and operational, let's move on to the last thing, which is the bonus feature. I explained the optional add-ons to Mr. C, and he liked the idea of not depending on faraway weather stations, so he agreed to Hunter's wireless rain-click rain and freeze sensor. This can be installed in less than 30 minutes, and since it's wireless, it requires no wiring from the transmitter to the receiver. The transmitter can be installed on a fence, a post, an eave, or a rain gutter with this included attachment. The transmitter needs to be installed where it can receive full sun if possible, and where nothing like trees or roofs can drop water into the sensor receptacle. There's more to tell about these sensors, but I'll go into more detail about it in a future video dedicated to sensors. The receiver gets wired here on the sensor terminals in the timer. Then, with a push of this button, it's ready to talk with the transmitter. This is a great idea if you're traveling during your rainy season. This function can always be bypassed if there's a reason to. Now Mr. C has a complete system, and he's super happy with the results. Well, between parts 1 and 2, you saw 2 of the wackiest valve manifolds I've ever seen and how they were replaced with Hunter anti-siphon valves in a nice, neat fashion. Then you witnessed the replacement of the two timers on opposite sides of the house with one Hunter Pro HC 24-station Wi-Fi timer and new wiring. And lastly, the bonus feature showed the Hunter wireless rain-click rain sensor so he can conserve water and money during rain events. Did you learn anything valuable in this video? What was it? Let us all know in the comment section below. Thanks for watching. See you next time.